Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Connie Douglas. It's Thursday at noon and this is lunch break. I hope you have a chance to pop in and join me for some...
Hello everyone and welcome.
You know, you always think you're ready. Not ready. There we go. We're good. I think we're good. I always think you're ready. Not ready. Except when you make it bigger. Gosh. Okay. Anyway, again, welcome to Lunch Break, Thursdays at noon, where I celebrate easy crafting, some fun layouts, some cards that are quick and easy, but always so cute. Sometimes they're, sort of simply elegant. Sometimes they're fun, bright colors. And if there's anything you think you'd like to see, drop me a comment here. I'd love to hear what you'd like to see, and I'll do what I can to get it on for you. I just need... Oh, Donna. Hi, Donna. Thanks so much for joining me today. It's lunch break, and since this week is my catalog kickoff, I have been showing a bunch of new products from the January to June mini catalog, and we're going to use some of those again today. Today I will use some designer series paper and a stamp set that I'm not using a whole lot in my kickoff this week. So it's going to be in other events. It's part of the suite that we will be using for our online global retreat coming up in February. And I've used little bits of it through this week, but not a whole lot. So I thought I would use more of it today so you can see the beautiful paper in action and just a little bit of the stamp set. So here we go. Let's get us turned downwards so we can get to some crafting. Okay, get this set up in here. That's a little bit... Oh, you never know where it's going to go. Okay, down lower. So I have to set this up so I know I know where I need to work so that you guys can see what I'm doing. This is kind of my, this is my fence. Stay within the fenced area, and then everybody will be able to see what you're doing. Oh, actually, I guess I could be looking up there, couldn't I? That would make life a whole lot easier. Okay, here we go. I think we're set up. I think we're good. Yeah. Gosh. Anyway, we're going to stop right there, and we're going to get to some crafting. Since there's nothing here now except for this, I will point out that greatstampingwithconnie.com is where you will find my website and all my blog posts, lots of inspiration, card ideas, all the rest of it, and I invite you to head over there. And if you are not on my mailing list, I invite you to join my mailing list. That's where I let everyone know what is going on in the Great Stamping with Connie Craft Studio. So if you are interested in classes or events or crafting together, specials, or just some inspiration, you get lots of things over there. So please do join my mailing list. There's also replays of some of these videos if you're looking for some tips or tricks on how to create some pretty cards. So on to the crafting. Today we are going to be using the Blessings of Home stamp set. This is part of the Blessings of Home suite. 2 stamp sets, 2 sets of dies, some embellishments, some ribbons, some memories and more cards, some doilies. I guess those are kind of embellishments, and some designer series paper. So lots and lots and lots of things in this suite to interest you. So today we are going to use the Heart and Home designer series paper. Probably don't need to see a whole lot of the plain package, especially since it has glare all over it. But I wanted to just quickly share with you the designer series paper. So there is this beautiful garden green leafy piece, and if you were at my catalog kickoff when I showed this, I mentioned that there's little tiny white dots in here that make it look almost like fabric. It looks very textured with those little dots. So it's very interesting paper. We have some pretty flowers with fresh freesia and pale papaya. This is garden green again in the background. Here are some small flowers with pale papaya and garden green on that paper. We move over to a piece that is, whoops, a little bit sideways, fresh freesia. And again, this one has the little dots, gives a little bit of a textured look. Not quite as much as the garden green piece. I noticed it the most on that piece, like almost immediately. It's like, wow, look at that. Very cool. This piece is Misty Moonlight. And if you know me, you know I love my blues. So that is certainly one of my favorite pieces in this package. But this one is also super cute and awesome. Cinnamon cider, and we've got some bumblebees and flowers, and that one coordinates with the other stamp set in this suite. Of course, when you flip it over, there's patterns on the back. This is probably a little hard to see when I stack them all together, isn't it? All of the back pages are wood grain. They are basic gray and white, and different wood grains on them. Lots of planks. This is kind of like the old-fashioned hardwood flooring. I don't know whether you had that. It's what we had in my house growing up, the narrow strip hardwood. Very popular back in the day. A couple of years ago when I was a child. Yes, that, you know. Here's a really cool wood grain piece, and then some diagonals. So these pages don't have any color on the back, so you can put pops of any color you want. It's basic gray, so it will go with absolutely everything. So just some awesome papers for backgrounds, and even, you know, accents on your cards with the top page, or like with it showing on top, not as a background necessarily. So anyway, on to some crafting. So today I have a sketch again that I printed off and put somewhere safe. I always do that, don't I? I put it over here by my my cutter, so as I was cutting and preparing. So this is the sketch that we are going to use today, and it is just a standard card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. There is a mat that is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then there are 3 panels that are 1 5/8 by 3 1/8. And then there's room at the bottom where you can put a sentiment. So, a few layers. Excellent opportunity to show off some designer series paper. So I always love the layouts where there's you know, great panels or squares or something where you can show off all of our pretty papers. So that's what we're going to use today. So let's get to it. The first card that I have to share with you, I'm going to use a fresh freesia card base, and I decided to use a fresh freesia layer. Just, you know, change it up a little bit from some of the other cards that I've got. And then I have 2 pieces of the garden green with the leaves, and a piece of the flowers in the fresh freesia and pale papaya. So the first, oh, and then I have a white strip here for my sentiment. Could stamp the sentiment right onto this layer of cardstock, but it's always a little risky in my books, especially if you glue the paper down first. I would always stamp your sentiment first. If you're going to put it right onto here, stamp it first. But because it's colored, sometimes your ink shows up with a bit of a, you know, sort of a funky color look to it. So I thought I would add a white strip for the color, which means we can glue these pieces of cards or designer series paper down without worry, because if we mess up the sentiment, it's just on a small piece of paper, and we can always, we can always get more cardstock. So I'll put that down there. Whenever I am doing 3 items, you've probably heard me mention this when I'm putting gems on a card, if I want them in a row. But paper, anything, I find it easiest to put the outside edges on first, and then you can just center the 3rd piece in the middle. And that way, if you don't have your gaps quite even, it's really easy to fix, because you just make these 2 gaps the same, and then it doesn't really matter what's on the outside edges, as opposed to making this one really small and then finding that you have a lot left over at the end or something. So just my little tip for today, but that is how I like to do that. So they're all down. I'm going to flip him over, give it a nice press, and then we will add our sentiment. So for the sentiment, I am using the thank you from the stamp set. Where did I put the stamp set? Here we go. So the sentiment in the stamp says, "Thank you for inspiring me." For today, I was thinking I would just like a thank you. And generally, I think I would use thank you more than thank you for inspiring me. But the jury's out on how often I would use thank you for inspiring me. So I've decided to leave it. Sometimes I actually cut my rubber stamp. So I would just take some, my paper snips, which are nice and fine and pointy. And I would just cut right in between those 2 strips of sentiment and take it off. You can always stamp them both if you wish, but if you're going to use just thank you far more frequently than thank you for inspiring me, sometimes it's kind of handy to just take it right off. If you're not sure, as I am not, you'll notice that I've just covered over the bottom. I've used washi tape. You can use washi tape. You can use masking tape. You can use a post-it note. You can use whatever you have around that will stick there and cover up the part that you don't want to stamp as you add ink to your stamp. I'm just trying to get a piece of paper here because I don't know whether this will go over the edge or not, but let's just see. So once you have your washi tape or whatever on there, you are just going to ink your stamp as you usually do. And once you have it nice and inky, here's the big tip of the day. Don't forget to take this off, because if you do forget to take it off, you're going to have a green blob on your stamping. So you take that off, and then you can stamp. This is going to be, I'm going to pull this down a little bit so I can kind of see where I'm going with this. And I think I might have even touched down, so this may not work, but we'll see what we get when we pick it up. There we go. Oh, look at that. It's a good stamping day. That turned out beautifully. So thank you. Sometimes I find when I'm stamping on these narrow strips, takes me a couple tries to get it straight or kind of centered, or sometimes we just mess up our stamping. But anyway, it's a good stamping day, so far at least. So I got that one nice. So that bodes well, I hope. That's my story. I'm sticking with it. Okay, then I am just going to grab my paper snips, and I'm just going to snip this off. Make them even. Little here, little here, little here, little here. No, we're good. Okay, and then we are ready to put that on here. Actually, maybe I will attach this to the card base first, because I'm going to pop the sentiment up with dimensions. So just get that folded, and then we will come in here and attach this to our card base. Okay. Oh, I should have popped it up. Actually, I think I will. Never mind that adhesive. And I don't often pop up the base pieces, but when I do the same colors, I kind of like the look. I like the elevation because there's just, it just gives it a little more dimension. But I find when you've got tone on tone, it's a nice look. So when I use a base layer and a card base that are the same color, I will often pop up this first base layer. So that's what I'm going back to do, and I'm sticking to the adhesive that I put on there. So I'm struggling with my dimensionals today. See, the stamping was going well, but the dimensionals are giving me a little bit of grief here. That's okay. We can we can get past this too. And when one sheet gives you grief, you just go to another, because you know what? As a stamper, how many sheets of dimensionals do you have on your workspace at any given moment? I always have more than one, because if there's only one, that's just ridiculous. Because how many do I lose in a crafting session? And when you're live, you really need them kind of handy. So I try to have a few close by. Okay, get the tops off of these, and we can get it stuck down again. At least I didn't put that down the last time. I might have changed my thought on whether I wanted to drop it down or not, if I had actually, or if I wanted to use dimensionals, if I'd actually put it on. But we were good, so. Okay. I was talking to someone from my cottage this morning, and which is in Bancroft. So it is, Bancroft is more snow country than Wasaga Beach. Everybody always thinks Collingwood and Wasaga is, you know, snowy because we have Blue Mountain. Truth of the matter is that although we get more snow than somewhere like Toronto, we don't actually get that much snow in the Collingwood and Wasaga area because of the bay. Our temperature stays moderate for a lot of the times. The bay is not frozen right now. That does give us lake effect snow, which is why we get some, but we don't get as much snow as Bancroft. And apparently Bancroft got a great big dump of snow. So all the snowmobilers up there, of which there are many, 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 will be very happy. And the guy that messaged me this morning said it's a winter wonderland up there. So I guess there's lots of snow. There'll be lots of people doing lots of shoveling on the lake to clear off their skating rinks again. But oops, that is not straight. There we go. So there is our card. Just need we need a few a few gems. Hello, woo, gems. How about some iridescent rhinestones? Because also, if you have been watching my catalog kickoff this week, you know that yes, I love my gems, and these rhinestones are just so bright and pretty. We're just going to put some of these. Do I want them on the green? Let's give it a go. We'll put some on the green. So these are going to be ones that I don't think you'll see them immediately. These will be the subtle little jump at you with some sparkle and shine when you least expect it as you pick up this card and turn it a little bit. So there you go. There is the first card following the sketch. And I followed that sketch fairly true, with the exception possibly of the sentiment being on a separate piece. So, okay, on to the second card. So for this card, I decided to use Pale Papaya, and I was going to use the little Pale Papaya and Garden Green flowers. So I have a garden green background that I should have set down first. And then a piece of basic white. How boring and plain is that, you say? Yes, it is. But as a stamper and a crafter, we can fix that. So, I am going to stamp on this piece. I'm going to bring this paper back in for when I go over the edge, because this one will definitely go over the edge because the stamp is bigger than my piece of paper. So I am using one of the flower stem stamps, the longer one from the stamp set. So there's this one that is kind of longer, wider, bigger, and then there's this other stem that's a little bit smaller. Still bigger than my piece of cardstock, but that's okay. So I am just going to plunk this down here. As I said, the stamp is bigger than the piece of cardstock that I'm using, so it will flow over the edge, but that's fine. There we go. And okay, I should clean this off. Sometimes I think, oh, I won't bother cleaning it off. I won't take up that time. But you know what? It's such a great idea to take proper care of your stamps because then they will last you a lifetime, and it really only takes a second with the Stamp and Chamois. Stamp and Scrub is quick too, just takes a little more space, so this is handy when I'm doing a live event. But let's keep them in good shape so they last us a long time. Okay, so now I have this, and you could use this just as a line image. That would be really nice too. Or you can color it with your Stampin' Blends. I will, let me see. What do we think? We go plain lines, or should we add some more color to this? I could cheat a little bit because I did actually color one earlier because I thought, oh my gosh, people probably don't want to sit and watch me color this whole flower stem. So here we go. We'll have a little peek at what this would be. So there is just the stamping. Get that out of the way. And there it is colored in. So I can tell you that I used the light and dark Pale Papaya Stampin' Blends for the flowers, and then there is no Garden Green Stampin' Blend. They have most of the colors, but they don't have all of them. So what I decided to use was the light Mossy Meadow for the inside accent lines on my leaves, and then I blended over top of them with dark soft seafoam. So you can blend any colors together. They don't have to be the light and dark. Often they are. Often we will use the light and the dark. Hi Mary, thanks for stopping in. We're just we're trying to make a decision here. So I am working on some cards from a sketch that I had. So we have Designer Series paper with a stamped image that I colored with the Stampin' Blends, or a stamped image that is just left as a line drawing. And so let us know which one you think we should do. In the meantime, I will just set this, actually if I fold the card base, then leave it all there. I'll fold this so it's smaller. There we go. And again, I have decided to use a strip of white cardstock for my sentiment. This time it was totally necessary because it's pretty hard to stamp a sentiment onto garden green cardstock. So this time I am using Have a Perfect Birthday, which is another one of the stamps from the stamp set. So we'll just get this inked up. Not that I couldn't stamp it upside down, but it wouldn't be straight. I just know it wouldn't, because our eyes are so used to looking at letters going in the right direction and all. Oh, Donna, you can't decide because both are nice. Yes, well, that's why I'm sitting here looking at it going, yes, both are nice. I will have to make them both because you know what? I did actually cut some double pieces. I didn't cut double pieces of the designer series paper yet, so I will have to go back and do that. But I will make them both, and then when I post this on my blog, I'll put both of them up. There, best of both worlds. How's that? Okay, so this is, it has a little bit of a tilt. It's kind of a, I'm a handmade card tilt, I think. But maybe I'll try it once more. just in case I can do a little better. But I don't know that I can because it's a pretty small tilt. But we'll see. I will try and get up and over it this time. So I'm going to pull it down a little bit so that I am a little bit more over the top of it. And we'll see what we get this time. Mary likes them both as well. Well, thanks for all the help, ladies. But that's the beauty of card making, right? And that's how, you know, how we come up with different cards, because we'll be making something and then it won't go quite as we thought it might. And all of a sudden we'll go, oh, but I could do this and this looks lovely. This morning when I stamped the one to color, I wasn't even looking at the stamped image to you know, think about whether I liked it or not. And then, excuse me. And then today I looking at it going, oh, I like that. Oh my. Sorry. Okay, so I think that one is a little bit straighter. So we will go with that. Again, neither one was bad. The other one just says, I'm a handmade card. But we use the one that looks a little bit straighter. So, same thing for putting this together. Let's take that off of there. I'm going to do this one with the, just the line image. But as I said, I will make the, the second one with the colored version and put them both on my blog when I do the blog post for this. So, then they'll both be there. Thought there was something I was going to mention from one of the one of my kickoff videos, but left my mind right now, so maybe it'll come back to me in a little bit. Okay, so there we go. Got that all down. Give it a bit of a squish. And this one, I will now put adhesive on, and we'll just put this one flat onto the card base. So, I actually mean to do this time. Can't remember exactly. Oh, I think you joined us after I had made the first card, Mary. I put adhesive all over the back and then remembered that I had thought that I would actually pop that up with dimensionals because it was fresh freesia on fresh freesia, and I like that popped up. So this time I really mean to have it flat on the card base. So, and we will pop up the sentiment though. There we go. And then we're at the fun part again. gems. What gems do we use on this one? Been using all of, pretty much all new gems this week with all the catalog kickoff, and just because they're new and fun and I want to play with them. I was looking at some of my gems this morning thinking some of my regular guys are they're looking sad and neglected right now. I have to get back to them, which of course I will, because because how many cards do I make without any gems? Although I did make that rainbow without gems. I still haven't added gems to it. Okay, what do we think? Maybe some brass butterflies on this guy, eh? I think so, because these are beautiful. So I think we'll put one of these big guys right about here. And then maybe we'll put some... Oh, how about in here, since it's been left kind of plain? Should I use a big one? Maybe I should put another big one in there. And a little one up here. Too many decisions, too many dilemmas. There we go. There. 3 flutterbys, or... there we go. I like these butterflies. They're fun, but they're nice and flat too, so they certainly won't get in the way for mailing or anything like that. So there's the second card. Okay, I have one more to share with you. Going a little bit off grid on this one, so not too wild and crazy, but we have a basic white thick card base. Just get him ready. Okay. And then I have some Misty Moonlight for the layer, because I'm using the Misty Moonlight cardstock, and a piece of the Cinnamon Cider with the Bumblebee. So I had decided also that I wanted to use some of the denim 3/8 of an inch ribbon that is in the new catalog. It's called denim. It goes perfectly with Misty Moonlight. It also goes with Night of Navy, or it could go with any color you're doing if you know, a darker blue is a nice accent color for what you're making. So wonderful ribbon, quite soft. I have tied bows with it. I'm not going to do a bow on this card, but I have used it to make bows already, and it works just fine. So that's always, as you know, that's kind of one of my tests for where the the ribbon sits in my repertoire, because some ribbon is wonderful for bows and some ribbon is less wonderful for bows. Good for other things, but not so much for bows. So this one, because I wanted to use the ribbon and put it across, but my sentiment is quite narrow. My light is quite bad, and I can't see whether the glue is coming out. So I thought I would change up where I put the cardstock on this one. So I'm going to do the first one up in the top, as we have, and the third one I am going to put on the bottom. Which means, of course, you can guess where the third one is going. In the middle, in the middle. Well, I suppose it doesn't have to do that, but in my symmetrical brain, that's where it has to go. So I'm going to put it a little lower than this and a little higher than this. And again, because I have my two edges, I can just center that kind of, you know, wherever I think it fits well. So there we go. Get that down. And then I am going to put my ribbon pretty much across the middle, because I've got all different heights here, so across the middle should work. If you're adhering ribbon, the easiest thing to do is just put some adhesive on the back, and sometimes I also like to put a glue dot on the front, but you have to be careful with glue dots because they will create a little bump in your ribbon. So what I like to do is put it where I think my sentiment is going to be. So I'm going to put my sentiment right along here. So I want my glue dot about here. And I also want the card not to stick to me. So I'm going to put a glue dot right there. And you just press it down, press your ribbon down onto the glue dot, and then when you pull it off, it comes up, and you hope that you got it all under the ribbon, which I didn't do perfectly, but anyway. So now I'm just going to lay this across here. See where I want it. I think about there. And when I flip it over, of course, that is now sticking down with my glue dot. And then I just wrap these around. I should maybe see if I've got it straight. I won't push him down too much in case I have to lift him. Yes, see? That's why I turn it back to the front, to see that I have it straight. So there we go. Okay, and then I am going to put that onto my basic white card base. That will just hold everything in place. Maybe we'll go over this ribbon a little bit. There we go. Okay. Can't make this thing go away. There's something in the way of my comments. Okay, now, little strip of cardstock, and I have a hello sentiment that I thought I would use for this one. This is from the Artistically Inked stamp set, and it's just a nice generic stamp. I love it for just, you know, general cards. A lot of the cards that I donate to... Sorry, you're probably gone, Mary, but there was a pop-up in front of your comment. So if you're still here, take care. Thanks for stopping by. And if you're gone, well, enjoy your meeting. The cards that I donate to my the church that I now go to, well, I don't go to, virtually I go to it, in Barrie, and the church that I used to go to in Markham, and I still donate cards to them. And I find that just, you know, hello, thinking of you, a little note, those sorts of generic sort of greetings are perfect, because then they can be used for anyone, for any situation. So I am punching this out with a 1 1/4 inch punch, partly because I can, because punches are quick and easy, and I have this one. Partly because then I don't have to run and do die cutting while I'm on my live. Unfortunately, you cannot purchase these circle punches right now. They will come back at some point because we all love them and we want them back, and because Sarah Douglas, the president of Stampin' Up, told us that they would come back at some point, but they are not available to order right now. But let me tell you, when they come back, in whatever sizes they are offered, buy them all. Just buy every single circle punch you can, because it is a bit of a storage situation. I understand that, but oh my, a circle is such a generic shape, and to have them in different sizes so that you can layer if you want. I'm not layering this one, but you know, they had them all in like 1/4 inch sizes, so you could punch a circle for your sentiment and punch a layer for behind it, and it was quick and easy, and it was wonderful. So, but we'll just put that on there. There we go. Look at that. What do you think? Needs a little bling? Needs a little something? A little something something. How about what do we think? Maybe some matte dots. We have them in white matte dots. Maybe some white maybe just a little white down here. We'll see. We'll do it, and we'll see. Just because. Again, because we can. So, I am going to use one of the larger ones. Now, I talked about doing 2 on the outside, and then 1 in the middle, which is kind of a lie, because when I do gems like this, I do the 1 in the middle, and then I do the outside ones after. But that way, I find it easier to get them lined up evenly. So, there we go. 3 gems. Yes, I think it works. They're not coming off. We're leaving those gems right where they are. Okay, so a little more crafting, a little more gabbing today, but that's okay. These are the cards that we have. We have 2 in with the flowery sort of thing, and then 1 with a little bit different tone. This actually, well, maybe a little more hint of a masculine tone to it. Don't know. But anyway, there you have it. Oh, Donna, I'm so glad you like the cards. Hopefully inspires you to go off and make some with similar layout. And, you know, as with the sketches and all the rest of the things that we do like that, this is a starting point, a place to kick off and get inspired from. You don't have to do them exactly like this. You could even do them, and I didn't do any today, but I have done a card very similar to this that is portrait, not landscape, and that works as well. So give it a try. Give them, you know, up and down or whatever you like. Anyway, have some fun playing, and thank you so much for joining me for lunch break. We will see you again next Thursday at noon. Bye for now, everyone.